Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone doing? Hello, and welcome to the conversation. I am your host, Andrea B. Flintroy, and I am so excited to see each and every one of you on this evening. I hope that everyone has been having a wonderful week because guess what? I have. I am so ready for Freedom Friday to lay it down. But before we even get to Freedom Friday, we got to get through this conversation, which is going to be such an awesome, dynamic conversation. As you know, and for those who do not know, the conversation has been designed to help break strongholds, to bring awareness, and to also to make you feel as though you are not by yourself. Because guess what? We all go through challenges. We all go through obstacles. We've all had our mountains. We've all had our valleys. And we've all been in our places of Lodi bar. But the thing about it is, we are not by ourselves. You are not by yourself. You are not alone. We are here with you to just let you know about the challenges that we've gone through so that you can know, again, you're not by yourself. Okay. So, again, welcome to the conversation. Hello to my TC community. How are y'all doing? Yes, I see we got some hellos up in here. Hi, Sharon. How are you doing? Now, if you are not a part of the TC community, you can be a part of the community by three ways: like the conversation, share the conversation, and make a comment. Because one thing about this conversation, it is not just a dialogue between me and the guest. It is also a discussion and a conversation with you as TC community members. So always chime in. Something you hear that's good, let us know. If you got any questions, post your questions. We will definitely get to your question because I like to hear from you. I like to know what is it that you want and what is it that you want to hear more of. Because again, this is for you and we are here to be together. So again, welcome to the conversation. So, but without any further ado, we have to welcome our guest on this evening, Carrie.
Hey.
Welcome to the conversation. Welcome to the conversation. We are so excited to have you on the conversation this evening. So, you guys, Carrie is here to talk to us about how she discovered her identity, right? Like, ain't that something that's like, whoa, how do you discover your identity? She's going to let us know exactly how she discovered her identity. But first, let me give you a little bit about Carrie. So Carrie is a mom of two who has always had a passion for health and fitness. She made it her passion and her mission in 2017. Now, she has a coaching program that's called Strong and Fit Mom. Yes. And so every day she has been athletic. She's been an athletic person. But then one day she realized that there is more to just being healthy. So then she decided to get the results that she has always been looking for. And then also take those results that she's learned to teach other women who wants to be strong and fit. She's always had this desire to be the healthiest version of herself. And guess what? She knew that she could get it. She had to change up some things, her nutrition, her mindset, and it really just helped her as an overall person. So she found out how to take care of her body in a way that allowed her to live the life that she desired, doing the things that she loved with the energy and confidence that she needed. So, you guys, now with any further ado, we want to welcome Carrie to the stage.
Thank you. It's always funny to hear, stuff about yourself when someone else says it. I do? Sweet.
Right? You're like, is that me? That's me.
Well, she sounds pretty cool. Who is she? Oh, it's me. Okay, cool.
She definitely is. Carrie, you are definitely an awesome person. And again, for those, the TC community, I want you to know how I met Carrie. Carrie is my P2P sister. Yes, yes, yes. And as you know, this season I've had quite a few P2P sisters on here, but we joined the coaching program from Patrice Washington. It was called Purpose to Platform. And the women that I have met in that platform, in that coaching program, have been dynamic, awesome, extraordinary women, as you are seeing, and you will get to see tonight with Carrie, as she tells us how she discovered her identity. But first, Carrie, before we get there, Carrie, can you tell the TC community what were some of the challenges that you just even went through?
Well, a lot. I was sharing a little bit with you from behind the scenes. So recently, I've had more revelation of my journey and looking at hindsight, right? And
Mhm.
like you said, I've always been an active kid. I always loved being outside and just moving my body. That was normal.
Mhm.
But as I got older, I had realized through relationships, my body wasn't being treated like the temple it was meant to be.
Mm.
And the way I viewed my body, I saw it as a tool in a way that I received love. I thought I wasn't lovable unless somebody wanted my body.
Mm.
So my identity got rooted in my body being a tool. And I was believing a false narrative. So my identity got rooted in something that was not of the Lord. And it's taking about 10 years for that journey to realize that revelation of how I saw it. I was always, like I said, into exercise. I started getting into nutrition and learning what does healthy, like physically healthy, really look like. But
Yeah.
I did what was up here and what was in here, the heart,
Mhm.
because I didn't know I needed that at the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it woke me up when it was revealed to me the pattern I was living in relationships,
Mhm.
and that there was some trauma, some wounds that weren't healed that were manifesting as an adult. And the way it came through, going, oh, I need to be reparented. Be reparented by the one to know
Yeah.
who I am and whose I am. So when I know whose I am, I'm walking in my truth, in my true identity, my born identity versus the formed identity. And then I can see my body as what it is. It's a holy temple. It's meant to be healthy and strong and fit. We have so much scripture to go through of how from self-care to nutrition to physical fitness to our renewing of our mind to our faith walk. And that truly is kind of what bred me stepping into having my own business and coaching other women how to get strong, fit, and healthy God's way.
Hmm. I like how you said that it was I want to say exactly how you phrased it. Um, oh my goodness, I can't even phrase it how you did. You said formed, like
Yes, born identity.
your
So
born identity, and then the one that you formed
formed,
yourself.
correct. So
Yes.
like again, it starts in childhood, right? Before the age of 7, we get those core memories, those core beliefs. And then from what we see, we either choose to attach it to us without subconsciously, right?
Hmm.
We consciously choose to pick it up and believe it. Whether it's true or not, we tend to believe it. And if we're not connected to what our born identity is, we don't know if that's true or not. And so now
Hmm.
we're the formed identity. Oh, I'm only wanted if somebody wants my body. The only way I know I'm loved is if somebody wants me.
Yeah.
Mhm. People are told, oh, you're fat, you're this when you're younger. Oh, you eat so, we start picking up these little things that then form or form a new identity that's not rooted
Yeah.
in truth.
So tell me this. So when did you start validating yourself versus looking from validation from others? So instead of looking for validation from others, you found it within yourself.
The journey started about 8 years ago after I got out of my survival mode of being divorced, single mom. Um,
Hmm.
about 8 years ago, the journey started, and it's been a journey. Revelation comes every year. And I just got another dose of revelation of really stepping into validating who I am through the Word of God. And I think really the last 6 months has been really powerful.
Okay. And how has the last 6 months been powerful for you?
Again, just stepping in and realizing the false beliefs that I was still holding on to that I wasn't aware of, and renewing my mind of who am I? You know, not just, oh, I like to do this or that, like, but who am I as a person? Who was I created to be here? And that's just been some more evident understanding what my purpose is, having more clarity on that. You know, I knew I wanted to help other people. I knew I was great at that. I was great at connecting and encouraging and teaching, but I didn't know what all that was 10 years ago. And then I started to where I am now, and it's so much more clear. And it's just so powerful. I just realized, like, so many of us can get attached to the number on the scale, can get attached to it's like, well, I can't get a bigger size to feel comfortable in my body, because then that means I'm fill in the blank. You know, we attach this false belief as our identity, and then we're miserable because we won't bring it to the light to work on it, so then we can step out into who we are.
Wow. Okay. So tell us more about this false identity. Like, can you break that down for any of the community members who they feel like they know what it is, but we're not quite grasping it. So can you tell us more about this false identity and this false narrative?
So my definition of false belief is anything that is not true. And how do you know what's true? True is something that does not change. So I go back to the Word of God. God says this, that is the truth. Absolute. So if it doesn't line up with that, then it's false. If it makes me feel less than, it's false. If it makes me feel below, it's false. If it makes me feel superior to somebody else, it's false. And so it's really coming back to, again, capturing my thoughts. You know, how am I feeling in my body, about my body? Am I making choices from a place of love or from a place of fear? I'm making choices from a place of fear, that I know I'm rooted in a false identity, a false belief.
And so when you was having those fears, give us some of the statements that you told yourself to help get you into that positive mindset, to where you was like, okay, this is a false thought. This is a negative thought. Let me change it, or let me bring in a positive thought. So what were some of your positive statements to help some of the ladies?
I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am a unique, one-of-a-kind, custom creation formed in the image of God. I am good. I am worthy. I am loved. I am enough. I am capable. I am strong. I am mighty. I can kick your butt. I really like physical fitness, okay? And I tend to be a little aggressive. I like to box, not a person, a boxing bag. I have to reiterate that. But those were like the big things. And practicing mirror work, looking at myself in the mirror in my eyes and repeating those statements. Speaking declarations rooted in the Word of God.
And now one thing about it, I love mirror work. And mirror work, to me, it opens, it's like you're looking into your soul, and you're becoming very vulnerable and opening up that space and that place for you. Now, when you were doing that mirror work, what were some of your I'm saying challenges or hindrance with yourself doing that mirror work? Because that's courageous to do mirror work.
Mirror work is hard, and it was actually a challenge I was given a couple of years ago. When I first went into business for myself, I got into a coaching program with a woman by the name of Tiffany Peterson. She's a dear friend, and she's just amazing. And one of the steps in her program was self-care, was practicing affirmations, but doing them in the mirror. And I learned that if I couldn't say it, because I sure didn't believe it, I would say, I am learning to trust myself. I am learning to love my body the way it is. I am learning to believe God at His word. I am learning to forgive myself. So that really helped. And I had to remind myself that just because I don't feel it, I don't feel that it's true, doesn't mean it's less true. Because feelings aren't facts. They're feedback, but they're not facts.
I like that. I am learning. I like that because you know what I've come across, especially like if even with my clients when we're doing affirmations, their drawback or their stumbling block is that they don't believe it. And
Yep.
like, well, I don't believe that. I don't believe that I am enough. I don't believe that I'm beautiful. I don't believe that I'm unique. I just don't believe these things about myself. I don't
Mm-hmm.
believe that I like, I like my body or whatever. And so I like that when you say put in the front of that, I am learning.
Team two.
I am learning
It's
to.
permission to not
Yes.
permission to be able to be on the journey because we never fully arrive this side of the veil. Like it's a journey. Like it's a journey. Like working through our trauma, working through false beliefs, working through, it's a journey, but we recognize it, we work through it, we move on. We recognize it, we move through it, we move on. It's a process.
And it is, and you're absolutely right. And I love how you said it's a journey and
Mhm.
it's going to be continuous. And
Yes.
I think that's something that a lot of people also kind of get them a little stagnant and make them to be stuck because it's like, well, I gotta, well, I went through the healing process, so I'm healed. And it's like, no, healing is a journey. And I tell people all the time with healing, today you might have this experience, but next year or 3 years from now, someone close to you might pass away. So now we're doing a whole entire healing process again.
And well, and it's also too, it's like because you've healed maybe a wound, it's now a scar. A scar
Mm,
is still there, right? So something can poke at that scar to make it uncomfortable or sensitive, but you have the tools to work through those triggers.
yes.
We're gone. We're always going to have a scar from that wound, but we can recognize it for what it is. So when things come up, or maybe I try on a pair of pants in the store, and before I tell myself I look fat if they don't fit right, it's like, oh, this is not my fit. It's not made for my body. Versus, oh my gosh, look, man, I need to lose another 5 pounds. Look at my butt. Oh my God, going down that road of negativity and
Yeah.
versus like, okay, cool. This is not the brand for me. It doesn't fit me right. Next.
And I like that. And you know what it does? It puts the power back in your hands. It
And you
gives
stop giving away
you
your peace.
back the power to say, oh, well, it's just this brand and it just didn't fit me. So let me go to another one.
Yep. Because then you keep your peace too, right? Because if not, you give away your peace.
Mm,
Right? Because then if you're giving away your power, you're giving away your peace.
yeah. And
So
you're right.
yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So tell us more about your coaching program, the Strong and Fit Mom. How did you come up with the Strong and Fit Mom?
So Strong and Fit Mom coaching, basically I went through everything that my journey over the last forever and really looked at what was I intentionally doing? Because for me personally, it comes easily.
Okay.
And it comes easily because I believe that's I shouldn't say the purpose. That's the calling God gave me here
Mm-hmm.
to help women with. And so therefore me knowing it, going through it, being able to see it, then I can again share it, impart it to others. And looking back, and really it was like there's five key pillars to getting healthy God's way and being strong, healthy, and fit. So I take women through the 5 pillars and my proprietary method to implement these pillars to allow them to have all the tools and resources that they need that are built on key principles that they can utilize no matter what age or stage of life that they are in. So it's not a cookie cutter program. It is principles that you apply to your life, your goals. So it's not, you have to eat this many calories and you must work out this many days and this type of workout. I don't do that. I do not do that. I believe in a holistic approach.
Okay.
And that's the key point. So I do a 12-week program, whether it's my one-on-one coaching or my soon-to-be relaunched group coaching program. And so I take what I do with my one-on-one clients and we put into a group format where we have a life-giving community with that support and accountability and coaching from me to take everyone through these 12 weeks together.
Yeah. And so tell us about your pillars.
So pillars we have our faith pillar,
Okay.
mindset,
Mm-hmm.
fitness, nutrition, and self-care. So these are all the key principles that we see throughout scripture of how to truly live that strong, healthy, and fit life. That's not just physically, it's mentally and spiritually as well. So while we work on our physical fitness, we also work on our spiritual fitness.
Yeah.
Go together. And that is one thing the Lord showed me of how it goes together. You can't do one without the other. They go together. When you have an off day, guess what? All these other areas are hit. It ain't just the one thing. So we know it works synergistically together. And when I was going through my divorce, like the Lord brought physical fitness into my life before then. And I believe he gave that to me because that was my outlet. That was my healthy outlet. That's where I built my mental fortitude.
Yeah.
Had the strength or that armor on to be able to go through the season that I was walking into of a big disruption.
Oh, wow. And so with you having this and knowing that this is your purpose, how do you feel knowing that you have found your purpose?
Oh, girls, like the angels started singing, ah, and it seriously, like a lot of it was through P2P.
Okay.
And our coach, Julia, right, she talks about your common thread. When I hear purpose, I'm thinking what I do for work, right? And so understanding the actual definition of what purpose is versus your calling or your assignment, it was like, oh, like it was a wake-up call. And I realized my purpose is to connect, encourage, and educate. I do that no matter if I'm in my personal life or my professional life. That is what I do. That is my purpose. So, and God's given me the calling and the assignment to use my purpose through helping women get strong and fit and healthy God's way. So that's the one vehicle that's used to activate my purpose here.
Yeah. And that's really, really good. And I love how you bring it all together. You bring the healthy side also along with the word of God and where it can be together because again, it's based off of what the word of God says about us as his children, as his people. And because and like you were saying earlier, and I want you to get more, would you explain more of this to the community about our body being a temple?
Yeah, that's what it was created for. Our body houses our spirit. We only have one body, no matter how much surgery, augmentation we do, we only got one. And we're called to steward over it. We have a stewardship assignment here. That's stewarding over everything, all our possessions. Our body is a possession, right? Just like our children are a possession, our finance, everything is a possession that we've been given, and we're called to steward over it. And I really feel God saying, my daughters need to remember it's a stewardship assignment. It's not about the way they look. It's not about how much they weigh. It's about being a good steward. And if we're stewarding well, or what we've been given, we gain understanding of how to do that practically, then our body will reflect the way, shape, size it's meant to, that God intended. So if we don't feel good in our body, we feel just uncomfortable, we know we're most likely not walking in the way God has called us to walk, to steward over that body.
I love how you said that and how you broke that down because we are stewards over our body. And so if we steward well over our body, then everything else lines up together. As far as how we view ourselves, what we think about ourselves, because we know ultimately that I'm taking care of my body. I'm taking care of my temple that I have been graced with or given.
And then you have that sense of just that empowerment, right? Like you're capable of doing this. And I think too, it's when we're doing that, we take the focus off the size, the number, and stop obsessing over something so trivial that the world tells us we need to, because it says if we don't look like this, have these measurements, then you can't be this, you can't do that, girl, and so now we're making this like this self-love thing turn so much more on yourself, self-focused versus him focused, and then you take it out of context. Well, I'm all this, so we're not quite lining up with the word of God, right? We're called to have unity amongst the people, not disunity. So I think when we get back in focus and remember who we are, because of whose we are, then we learn how to steward. We learn what it looks like to eat healthy. What is healthy? What does that mean? Well, guess what? We didn't have Krispy Kreme on every corner or Starbucks, right? Nothing wrong with having those. Believe me. But there's ways to partake in these fun things without it being detrimental to you. Because sugar, let me tell you, friend, I do a sugar detox program. It's like 14 days because, like, no joke, like sugar sneaks in everywhere. And it's like, you're like an addict. Give me one. Let me have that Rice Krispie, just one more bite. Come on. Like, literally, I'll get like that at times. And I'll eat these things that I only have occasionally. Then it comes in, it's like weekly or daily. I'm like, oh man, it got me again. Okay, cool. I know what I need to do. I'm going to go back and start removing it again and get back on track. And what people think it's like, they're like, oh, I did it again. Forget it. I'll just wait till January. I'll set my resolution. No. That is not a lifestyle. That is not what God intended. We recognize, right? We have the conviction and recognize, okay, what is that step I need to take to get back in alignment? Okay, I'm not going to be going to Starbucks today. I'm going to take a few days off so I can get my system to recover, right? Courtney, I love you, girl. Hey, I have ice cream right now in my freezer calling my name. But like I said, there's ways to have these fun foods that are in a healthier way.
Yeah.
Right? There's like, oh, I'm going to eat dark chocolate now instead of milk chocolate. I'm going to have kombucha versus multiple glasses of wine. You know, one of my clients, she didn't want to miss out on the festivities and feel like she was being set apart because she wasn't drinking. I said, girl, go pick up some kombucha, pour it in a wine glass. Nobody know nothing. And she goes, oh my God, that's such a good idea. She did it and she felt great.
So what's a kombucha?
Kombucha is basically a probiotic drink that helps with gut health. And it's fermented. So if you're pregnant, no, do not drink this. But this brand, I love the GTs because they don't add any sugar. So a lot of people don't get is like on your nutrition label, it tells you sugars and then it tells you added sugars. The foods that have added sugars you want to run from. Because that is what, again, sugar is highly addictive. And most of the time, the sugar that's added is a processed and refined sugar. So it alters your brain chemistry. It's like taking a hit of heroin. So your brain, if you look, you can go look up studies and you can go look at little diagrams they do on YouTube of your brain taking a bite of something with sugar, processed, refined sugars, and a hit of like heroin, cocaine. The reaction in your brain is about the same. But people don't talk about being addicted to sugar. Right. And so, but it's something, you don't go to AA for it or whatever, you know, but it is an addiction. And what happens is your brain chemistry gets altered. Then you start eating foods that you normally wouldn't eat and you're not even realizing it because now you're operating on autopilot. You're no longer operating consciously. Right. And so you're taking all like, why am I gaining weight? Gosh, I eat well, I eat healthy. Are you? You had popcorn, Snickers bar, a Coke, and a mocha today. Oh, I did? Dang. Oh, maybe that's my problem because I did that 7 days in a row. Oh, and that's what happens. That's how it sneaks in. I say sugar is from the pit of hell. That's how the enemy gets you. You literally are not focused. You're not thinking. And when you go off sugar, let me tell you, I'm going to get on my preacher stand because I have to do this to myself. I'm speaking from experience, plus all my clients that I have go through this. It is it's literally an awakening. You're like, oh, like the angels are singing again. And like the green leaves are green. Like you see so much clearer. You don't have cravings. Your belly bloat is gone. You're dropping weight. Like it's crazy. And there's tools to help. Like Courtney mentioned, she has supplements. Yes. So I use doTERRA products. I've used them for 9 years. I use them for my healthcare. I use them for my face. I use them for everything. And there's something they just came out with called MetaPower, and it's for your metabolic health. So think about your thyroid, insulin levels, cortisol, metabolism. It helps at a cellular level. And I use these products because it helps your body slow the rate of absorption of insulin. So you're not spiky. So when you have carbohydrates, whether it's fruit, vegetables, pastas, whatever, processed carbohydrates, mainly breads, pasta, stuff like that, or higher starchy foods can spike your blood sugar, your insulin. So when you do that so much, you become insulin resistant. We don't want that. We want to be insulin sensitive. So,
Oh, wow.
and then that what leads to our body holding on to excess fat because it's in fight or flight all the time. It doesn't know what's happening. It will store it. And so some people need that support and supplementation to help regulate their eating. And so MetaPower is cool. And I use that myself because a girl needs help.
Oh, wow.
We need tools in our toolbox.
I like that. All right, TC community, y'all heard that. We need tools in our toolbox. Okay, and so I know something else that you were saying about oh, so Courtney has a question. She says, so do you reverse insulin resistance by sugar detoxing?
You can definitely help reverse that. So people have
Really?
diabetes. Think about people have diabetes, right? It's because they're insulin resistant, right? So they have to take insulin to
Yeah.
balance them back out because now their body can't do it on its own. So we don't want to get to that place, right? So what I tell people about supplementation, one, it is not to fix you. It is to support you. You don't just go eating all the way you've been eating and think these things are going to solve everything. It does not. It works with you. But definitely, Courtney, when you go off of sugar, you're going to notice a way difference in your brain chemistry and your hormones are going to be able to get balanced. So I put people through a 14-day one. It takes about 5 to 7 days for the withdrawals and the cravings to go away.
Mm-hmm.
I first did it, girl. I was like, give me my hamburger. I need a hamburger. Where's my French fries? Like I was freaking out. Like I was going through severe withdrawals. So now that I know that I warn people, hey, make sure you have this, this, or this on hand to counter that. And it's a weaning. Just like if you're on drugs, they don't make you quit cold turkey, right? That's bad. You have to wean off. Even if it's prescription drugs, right? So it's like weaning off slowly for the first few days, cutting out things, and to where then you're just eating real whole foods. And when we get back to the basics, our body resets. And notice, again, the inflammation, the water weight, the belly fat stuff starts to go away because we're now eating in a way that our body needs versus filling it with the other stuff on a regular basis.
Oh my goodness. Okay. And so I do want to throw this out here and TC community because Carrie is the reason why I drink more water. I'm just gonna go put out. She is the reason I drink more water. And so something that I used to do was I used to number my water bottles so I could make sure that I would get the amount of water in that I was supposed to, or at least just drink more water than I normally did. Because I would only drink 1 bottle of water a day. And yeah, that was Carrie's face.
You didn't tell them it was only a 16-ounce bottle of water.
Well, hey, I ain't telling them all that now. You know, we got to keep some things to ourselves.
You under the bus. I love you.
But so, and she was telling me that I needed to drink more water. And so, can you tell the TC community like about drinking more water and what it helps flushes out and what it brings in, just the whole.
Sure. So our body alone is made up of 80% water. Our body needs water. We can go 7 days, or is it 14 days without food, but we only can go 3 days without water or we'll die. Because that water, the brain, all your major organs. So when our body's in a state of dehydration or partial dehydration, your systems aren't functioning properly, your hormones aren't functioning properly, your body is retaining water because it's trying to survive, and your body systems are not able to work together properly. And so things start happening. You get headaches, maybe you get a lot of congestion, aches and pains, sore where you never used to be sore. So a lot of this contributes to that, not sleeping well, brain fog, poor eating habits. Again, your body's needing something. You're thinking it needs food or it needs carbs, right? And when I talk about carbs, I talk about processed carbs, chips, pasta, breads. That's what we go for because our body's trying to tell us we need nutrients.
Yeah.
So when we take in enough water, which it's recommended about half your body weight in fluid ounces of water. So I walk around, no matter where I go, I have my water bottle, period, the end. I do not leave without it. If I ever do, I literally start having dry mouth. Like literally, like I have a reaction to not having my water. It's like, I'm parched, where's my water? So I have it wherever I go. It's always filled up. And your skin, it helps your skin. So if you feel like you always have dry skin or you feel like you're getting a lot of wrinkles, increase your water intake. If you want to sleep better, increase your water intake. If you want to reduce inflammation, drink more water. If you want to work on weight loss, drink more water. So it's going to help all your body systems. It's going to help with exercise recovery. It's going to help you have a better workout. as well, because you're hydrated. When you're dehydrated, you're going to put a lot of strain and stress on your joints as well as your muscle in the wrong way. And then they can't be able to function properly because your muscles need oxygen. And it's in the water, you're getting the oxygen as well. So you're depleting yourself. You're really hurting yourself on multiple levels.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Well, thank you so much for giving the TC community, that education, because it's definitely something that we need, because we all have our challenges and, of course, our shortcomings with me and the water. And
You're doing better. You've increased your water.
It has definitely been better, but now I'm not going to lie, me and these sugars.
I told you addiction. Girl, I know. I've had to not open my freezer because like I had, where is it? Do you guys have Sam's Club?
Yes.
You're at? Okay. Well, they have these cinnamon rolls.
Yes, my son has those right now.
Yeah,
yes.
They have cream cheese frosting. Game over. Now, if I had like the sugar icing, forget it. But this had cream cheese. I warmed one of those things up, girl. Let me tell you, that frosting was falling on my finger. And I was like, no, I had to throw them out. It's not willpower. But it's an addiction that happens. Again, it changes your brain chemistry. So don't be like, oh my gosh, I just can't do it. It has nothing to do with you. It has to do with what's happening in your brain. And it's an addiction that's talking, give me, I need to hit, I need to hit, I need to hit. And you are going to need more and more to get that same dopamine release. So, but when we cut back on it, when we go without it and tell ourselves, do I really want that? Is that what I'm actually wanting? Allow ourselves to have what we want and not try to have an 8-pack in the house. You know what I mean? Then it makes sense. Let me just say, and putting it in places you don't see it, like not at eye level. So that's the trick I do is I'll put stuff that I know late at night, I get a craving, I want to go for. If I can't see it, I won't do it.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay. Again, so thank you, Carrie, for giving us so much information and definitely bringing awareness to us about a lot of our sugar problems. But no, but also in how you discovered your identity and how we should be better stewards over our body, because God gave us this body. And as Kim had mentioned in the comments, we only get one of us. And so we should steward well over our body, over the temple that God has given us, and increase our water intake. Make sure that we are eating healthy, living healthy, and so it can help clear our mind, clear our spirit, and so that we're able to function better as individuals. So thank you so much for that. But before we get ready to go, I do have one last question for you. And my question for you, Carrie, is how are you showing up for yourself?
How am I showing up for myself? I am boldly taking steps to do what I feel God calling me to do. It's scary, but it's also exciting. And there's uncertainty, but I'm doing it. And therefore, that allows me to show up, allows me to do my thing, to be my thing. I love to dance. I don't know how to dance, but I love to dance. And this girl be showing up at my daughter's school as I walk her in, being the librarian, I'll be dancing. And I can hear my good girl Christian twerking because my daughter taught me how. And I have no shame. And it brings laughter to others. So I'm showing up physically as well.
Also, we love it. We love it. We love it. And Carrie, can you tell the community how can they find you? How do they connect with you?
You can find me on Instagram and Facebook. All of it's at Carrie Leonardini. You can also jump in my DMs or connect with me over on my website, thestrongandfitcoach.com.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, TC community, you have heard it here. You know how to connect with Carrie. Please connect with Carrie. You have any questions about being health, your fitness, anything of that. And also just how can you be a better steward over your body? You might have realized during this conversation that, hey, there are some places that I am not doing very well. I'm not being a good steward over the body that God has given me. So I need some help. What are some techniques that you had? Like Carrie told us before, we got to have some tools in our toolbox. And so she can give you some more tools. She can give you some more techniques, but definitely reach out to her and ask her what is some other things that you can do. And then maybe more so tell her about the specifics that you have that you might didn't get a chance to talk about tonight, or she didn't get a chance to expound on tonight. But again, thank you so much, Carrie, for being a guest on the conversation. We
Thank
were
you.
so happy to have you.
Thank you. It was fun to
Yeah.
be here. Thank you, everybody who joined in. But yes, if you have questions, feel free to reach out. I love connecting. So if I can help in some way, I would love to do it.
Awesome. Thank you so much again. Okay, TC community. So, y'all know we will be here again, same place, same time, but a different guest. And here in season 2, we are talking about who is she now. And so it is, who is our guest now, that they have went through their challenges, that they have went through their obstacles, that they have been through their mountain highs or their valley lows. Who are they now as they have went on their journey and as their journey has progressed? So we're speaking to the people that they are now, and they're also giving us a little insight about the challenges that they had and how they have become the person who we see before us today. But again, I want to see you all next week, next Thursday. You can definitely reach out to me on my Instagram or on Facebook at Andrea Flintroy. Hey, you can catch me there. Anything that you need, let me know some of the things that you would like to hear, to talk about, and to discuss. All right. So, TC community, y'all have a great evening. And remember, show the world who you are and don't allow the world to tell you who you are. All right. Y'all have a good evening. God bless.